Okay, rent-a-dumps, part 4. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Yesterday I was working on a different directory, homeschooldeals.org. This is the first directory that I started a few months ago, I think around October. And I was doing all the work manually. I was going on Google, searching for homeschool, city state, and then looking for establishments that have some kind of homeschool deal, homeschool discount, homeschool day, homeschool month, homeschool program. So there's a lot of museums, gymnastics, public libraries, all kinds of establishments, entertainment, arcades. So I started collecting all this, putting it together. I was doing it manually, probably did about 80 of the DFW deals manually. And I started looking into different tools. I started building my own tools to do the scraping and the enrichment of the data and all of that. And it was working well, but I got to a point where I realized that I was creating this very complicated solution. And as I started working more with Claude, I realized that a lot of the pipeline I could just run from the terminal. I didn't need a database and a service layer and a UI and containers and this whole infrastructure that I was creating. So that's when I took a step back and I basically created a very simplified and specific version of that pipeline that I was working on for homeschool deals. And it was working okay. But then when I started with rent-a-dumps, what I did is I used what I learned with homeschool deals to build a new pipeline, and it's it's working a lot better. So last night I went back to homeschool deals and I asked Claude, I opened rent-a-dumps and homeschool deals on the same workspace, and I said, okay, let's look at rent-a-dumps and let's recreate the homeschool deals pipeline using that technique. And the results were much better. I was now getting a lot more listings. I'm currently running it. It's searching for Florida listings now. So these green ones are new listings that I've been adding today using the new pipeline. So then what I did is, okay, well, this is a really nice process. Let's see if we can abstract it and make it more generic, like a template. So then other people can use it to build their own pipelines. So I opened in the same workspace, homeschool deals, rent-a-dumps, and I don't remember what else. Oh yeah, and a new repo that I created just called MDs. So this is for um, just storing generic documents that I want to share with other people, like templates. So I have a few that I had created already. Building desktop apps using Tori or Tauri. Uh, and there's a whole build process to get the the app packaged for the Windows Store and the Mac Store. So I'm building 3 apps that use the same tech stack. So I realized, well, I'm like duplicating this build pipeline everywhere. So I thought, let's consolidate this and just create a generic template. So I open all the projects, same workspace, and then use Claude to create a generic template. So then for the next project, I can just use this file to build the build process. And eventually, it would be nice if I can just have some kind of generic build process that I can reuse. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on building tooling. I just want to work on the products right now. So I did the same thing with the scraping pipeline. I opened the projects and I asked it, okay, now learn everything that you can from these pipelines and write a generic document about it. So that's scraping pipeline template. And I think it captures it very well. I haven't tried it yet. So the next thing I would like to do is create a new directory website and then use this document to drive the creation of the pipeline instead of just typing what I think it should do. So anyway, just wanted to share that as an update, but let's get back to print the dumps. We have, see how many listings are these? Get a count here. Okay, that's, I would like to get a little bit more. I think we can continue to run it. One thing that I need to look into is I know there's a list here somewhere that tells you, yeah, this one. It's missing a phone number or it's missing something. So I would like to build a little tool to go back and see if we can backfill some of this information. And I know that Python scraping is very good at doing phone numbers and emails and things like that. Maybe addresses if the formats are correct. So anyway, let's try to do that. Let's see. I'm asking here for suggestions, so let's see if we can formulate a plan before we start building. Okay, let's see. So 24 out of 26 listings need review. We're missing addresses, email, phone, pricing. But I don't think we should try to do pricing with this. I'm thinking let's go for the more critical information like email and address and phone. Pricing is a little, it's, I think the LLM would be better to do that. And if it can't find pricing right now, then it's maybe not a big deal. Oh, okay. So fetch page does basic scraping with Playwright, and it has extraction for phones and emails and addresses. I didn't know that. That's what happens when you vibe code. You have no clue what's going on. So let's see. Okay, so it's offering two options. So we can add another library to improve the parsing, or we can just enhance the exacting parser with better regular expressions and so on. So I don't know what Cheerio is. So I'm asking, what does Cheerio do better? Does it have already like built-in patterns so we can find the emails and the addresses and the phones? I'm thinking that's what it is. Let's see. Okay, well, so now it's saying let's improve the existing fetch page. So if Cheerio doesn't do JavaScript and all that, then yeah, it's an HTML parser. It doesn't have the patterns. You have to write them. So what's the point? Let's just improve what we have. Okay. But now it's also asking, do we want to enhance fetch page or do we want to create a separate scrape contact tool? And that sounds like a better idea, I think, to separate those two things. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just saying I like the idea of scrape contacts. Can we move the scraping logic there with more robust pattern recognition and then refactor the pipeline to use it? Let's see. Okay, so it's doing it. So I'm just going to waste some tokens here. I'm just asking what's the next batch of candidates and to give me a summary of where we are and what's next. I honestly don't remember. I think there's a bunch of stuff still sitting in the candidates file that we need to process. Okay, so on this side, it's ready to create the scrape contacts. And this other side, I don't know what it's asking me. Okay, to analyze, go ahead. Okay, let's see what we got. So current state, we have 161 candidates. We have 139 pending review. We have 10 qualified listings, 12 skip, 26 created. By state, we get a breakdown, next batch, candidates, and then we'll start doing more searches. So it's pointing out that this company has a missing phone number. Well, that's what I'm trying to fix with this other. Okay, so now I have two windows and I got to figure out how to get this in sync. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. Let's see what happens. So this guy on this side is saying you're missing a phone number. This guy over here is saying I'm done, I'm ready to go. So go and see if you can find the phone number. Okay, I think I'm gonna close this other window. Sometimes I open two windows and I start doing different things and I start getting confused and sending the right message on the wrong window. So I might just copy this information and paste it on the other window. I don't know, I think we had a misunderstanding here. This agent here is apparently just going back and trying to find all the missing stuff, which is fine, but that's not what I was expecting it to do. Doesn't matter, I'll just wait. Okay, let's see. So 18 listing scans, 5 listings updated with new contact data, many other found contact info but already had those fields, so that's good. No, don't run any more reports. Let's get down to it. This UI is confusing. I don't know which one is which. I want to close this one. Really like when it does this. It just decides to run them in parallel batches. So you can see it's hitting different sites at the same time. That's cool. Family owned. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Get some 403s. Not sure what we can do about it. Okay, well, this is gonna take a long time. I'll just speed it up, but I was thinking maybe I can take a look at what's going on with the homeschool deals. Yeah, because homeschool deals is also running, and I don't know why it asks me for permission. Where rent the dumps, it just doesn't care, just goes for it. So I gotta see what's the difference here in the setup. Okay, I gotta go do some other things, so I'm gonna let this run. I'll speed up the boring parts, and then when it's done, I'll come back and see what we can do next. I'm looking forward to build a website. I think that's gonna be fun. Once we get all the listings in there, then we can ask the agent to design a beautiful website using the content from the listings. So I'm really looking forward to that part. I think we can wrap this up in the next session.